This is what negative airflow looks like. I'm sucking all the bad air from the basement, pushing it out into the atmosphere. Now I'm going to probably end up this is the window closest to the fan, but I'm going to probably end up making it so that this part right here is blocked off, so that the air has to go through and around and then back over here. You know, had a lot of standing water in the basement. Not a lot of standing water, but just had, you know, some mustiness and some, you know, the water was flowing down these stairs, down into here. This is actually the lowest part right here. That's the drain. But there was a lot of water in this basement. You know, also in this old house, you know, it used to have a brick foundation, an old style brick foundation. Now it's got cinder block. You know, so it's standing up on cinder block. So that was done at some point, probably in the 60s or 70s. You know, the cinder block is compromised somewhat. I'm going to have to deal with that. I'm going to get a company come in here and then just dig and then, you know, replace blocks or straighten the wall out, whatever it is. I've got stands. I put some supports there so the house doesn't fall in on itself. Anyway, so the air is blowing through here now. The air is actually being drawn. I was drawing it from the back window here just to get the you know, as much of this part of the room, you know, mildew free or whatever, you know, scent free, because there's quite a tremendous odor in here. I don't have a sense of smell, so I can't really tell. I did open up this window for a while, and then we had the air coming through that window. Now what I've done is I've diverted it. Depending on which window you open will depend on where that fan, you know, draws the air from. So now the trick is just taking it from, you know, the upstairs environment, bringing it down through the stairwell here, so that I can get, you know, so I can kind of guide it through this part where a lot of that moisture occurred. So that's kind of the trick. But again, you know, I'm gonna partition off this center section here so that there, you know, so the airflow has to go from here up through here around the corner, because that's the fireplace. Has to go around the corner here. Here's the back, another part of the house that, you know, has become damp. It's not as bad as the other part, but anyway, and then eventually out through the door. You got to kind of create a channel for it to go. I mean, because that fan will blow enough CFM to where, you know, it'll draw the air wherever you guide it. But you got to guide it because this room is rather wide. It's too much volume of air in here for that fan to be able to do it all in one channel. And then I'll probably put channels. I might actually put the fan at the top of the stairs and then just put plastic up to the point so it just draws it straight up that stairwell, you know. The bottom of the stairwell was wet, but it's dry now because that fan's been blowing for an hour, well, actually a couple hours now. So that's the plan, you know, and that's what you have to deal with back east here when you get by a house and, you know, you got basements that kind of tend to flood, especially if they're compromised like this one is. That's not as bad as it looks, but, you know, it's still got to be done. You just got to air them out, you know, especially if you got. Right now, I've kind of got my workshop set up down here because I don't have my shop built up. I've got you know, you buy houses back here, you get 1-car garages. Well, I'm going to tear mine down, do a 5-car garage, so that's going to be, you know, 2 wide, 2 deep with a lift, and eventually all this workspace will be in that workshop / garage, and then it'll have a shop out back, so, you know, behind the lifts, and it'll have apartments up on top, an apartment and an office space. So anyway, that's the deal. That's what you got to do to ventilate your house. And if you're not doing it, you know, I kind of waited till, you know, later in the summer here. You really got to kind of do it in the spring. Try to air it out. You know, I'm going to do these ducts here. This is the air conditioning / you know, heating system. What I'm going to do is these ducts go up into the floor, up into the living room. There's one on this side of the fireplace and one on the other side. Anyway, you open up this guy here, this heater, you know, there's a squirrel cage down in there, okay? A squirrel cage down there. You open it up, and then you want to draw air backwards through there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a misting of bleach down into this ductwork, because there is some mold and mildew in that ductwork, you know, because you can smell it. I can't smell it, but you know, my mom was telling me that it smells like that there, and then there's also a duct like down on the other side. Again, this is the chimney. You know, I'm going to draw it out through here, then it's just going to be directed out towards, you know, that back door where that fan is. So that's the plan, you know, to completely mildew-wise the air conditioning system, the basement, you know, just to make sure it's a healthy environment. Again, you know, the mildew smell was actually going up through the vents, even though the fan wasn't on, even though this heating system wasn't on, or the heating or cool. This is actually a heating and air conditioning system. The squirrel cage works for both heating and air. But anyway, it was drawing some of the scent up into the house, especially up towards that part over there, which is actually the back part of the living room, close to where the front door is. None of the other parts of the house really smelled, but that part did. And you know, I just want to make sure it's a safe environment. Any black mold or whatever you might call it that's going to be prevalent, you know, I'm going to have to kill it off. So again, I'm going to run it backwards. I'm going to run a fan drawing the air out of here, a smaller fan drawing the air out of here. Then eventually that air is going to get drawn out by the bigger fan, and what it's going to do is it's going to enable me to spray down some sanitation down into those pipes to clean any problems that are occurring in those pipes. And I think this really happened because the previous owners were, you know, fuckwads, and they didn't actually do any cleaning like you need to do on these systems. So, you know, I replaced the filter first thing. You know, I've replaced it a couple times since then. You know, if you don't do that, yeah, you're going to have problems further upstream, and you know, these people didn't know what the hell was up. So I have to straighten it out, and you know, that's fine, whatever. I'll get it done, but got to do all the due diligence. So that's the way it's done, folks. And again, I will partition this wall off, and I'm going to draw the air back through there and out through that back door from the entryway up here. So this entire space will be sanitized.